Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, the exuberant Abbi Whitaker, co-owner of the Abbi Agency. For the whole show, it can barely contain her on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
All systems check. All right, Sam, let's go check out some D&D roof.
Hey, Ken. From up here, you can really tell the difference a quality D&D roof makes.
You're right, Sam. With our experience, knowledge, and staff, nothing compares to a D&D roof.
Hey, look down there. It's our D&D roofing crew.
I'll bank the plane so we can get a closer look. Sam! You watch your company's bottom line, and I'll cover the top of it.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we are always delighted to welcome back to the program Abbi Whitaker. She is co-owner of the Abbi Agency with her husband Ty. It is always great to have you on. You are so enthusiastic about life and everything in general, and especially about Nevada and Northern Nevada.
Yep.
So you were raised primarily in Fallon, correct?
I was raised primarily in Fallon from 12 years old onward, and my husband is a sixth generation Nevadan, so from Fallon and Elko, yeah.
Okay, was life easy in Fallon when you were a kid growing up?
You know, that's a great question. It was definitely different than it is now and everything. I mean, I came from Europe, from England to Fallon, so that was a bit of a culture shock.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. I was like, where's the old house? Oh, castles. Oh, no. You know, I thought America was Disneyland. But you know what? Fallon has a place in my heart that it occupies a big place in my heart. I'm actually, after this, I'm off to see the mayor and have lunch with him and just talk about all things Fallon and everything. So yeah.
And there is so much going on in Fallon. So let's go there. There is an industrial center that's going to open up there at some point. There's not been big announcements at this point in time, but we know that there's a lot of energy going into that area. And I've been talking about on the program for quite a while now that, you know, for affordable housing, we need to move from talking about Reno Sparks to moving into Fernley to Fallon, Yerington, that for folks coming from the Bay Area and for others that can't afford the pricing in Reno Sparks, that these must become the areas that are developable.
I couldn't agree more. You know, Fallon is kind of that country lifestyle that's kind of the hip hop thing right now, right? You have your chickens, you might have your pig, your goats. It's kind of that back to nature. And you can have that there for the price of what you could maybe live in a duplex here. And, you know, there's such a good small town way of life there. People are friendly, people are kind. It's closer than you think. That's actually our campaign for Fallon. From Trick to
Did you guys come up with that?
We did. I have to give the mayor credit. You know, the mayor definitely has a lot of, he's very hands-on with that kind of stuff, but we worked on that with the city and got some billboards around town and some different types of advertising to really let people know that to get from Fallon to Trick or Trick to Fallon, it's, you know, between 50 to 56 minutes. If you're living in Red Rock, paying, you know, $450 for a house, it takes you longer with the traffic to get to Trick. So there's just a really great opportunity for builders, developers, and future homeowners to really look at those rural communities. And Fallon is a community, right? It's not just like, it has a lot of lore to it, and it has a lot of great events, and it has a lot of pride. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to the Christmas tree lighting in Fallon, Sam.
Not that one
But I will tell you, Reno could take a lesson. Naomi Jordan actually sent me a text after the last Fallon Christmas tree lighting, and she's like, well, we better step up our game. They do a good job there, and I think there's a lot of opportunity for affordable and attainable homes for some of these people that are living in Nevada currently and moving here.
When I was a kid, as you know, growing up in England, my commute in London, bus and subway was 45 minutes, and that included 2 nice stretches of walking. So the idea of a 45 minutes to an hour commute, especially for people coming from the Bay Area where commutes are 2 to 3 hours in each direction, it makes a whole lot of sense if we can figure out the transportation portion of that.
Yes, and I think there's a lot less traffic coming from Fallon to Trick than there is coming from Reno to Trick. And I think 45 minutes of driving versus 45 minutes of sitting in traffic, I would rather be driving personally, right? So I know that, you know, Tesla and Panasonic have their buses. So they're doing a lot to really get people on one moving vehicle versus 15 or 20 moving vehicles. I know that there's a lot of folks in Fallon that are working out at both those places, as well as some of the other places out at Trick. So we just had, actually, Chris Riley from Tesla just came out recently and met with the mayor and wanted to talk to him about how Tesla and Fallon can work well together, especially for workforce development. I mean, that's another thing, right? So housing is one thing, but we really want our kids in rural Nevada to have an opportunity for some of these workforce development programs that are being created by GoEd, by Tesla, by Panasonic, to really get some of these jobs that they can transition to maybe right out of high school. So they don't have to go to college and get a lot of student debt, but they can get a good, you know, entry-level job at $50,000 and then move up the ladder. So there's a lot of, I'm a big rural Nevada champion. I'm a big Reno champion, but I'm a rural Nevada kid, right? So I want us to remember, as we're growing and as our economy is booming, that we need to reach out to the rurals, and we need to make sure that we're providing them with opportunities for growth as well.
The only concern I have is water, which is, you know, there's not a whole lot available right now. Now, you can always bring water. If you've got the money, you can bring water, so that's not really an inhibitor for growth. But I remember interviewing Jeff Page on the program maybe 18 months ago, and he was saying, you know, for Lyon County, they're in need of water. They don't have it now, and they don't have sources for it in the near future.
I think that's one of the things that, you know, Nevada and Northern Nevada is going to struggle with and have to address and look at. How do we get water? How do we allocate water? How do we use reclaimed water? I know that there's some things that are maybe working with Trick and the city to work on some of those issues. And I know Tumwa, obviously, that is at the forefront of what they're doing. As all developers are looking here, how do we kind of address this? We had a great winter last year. So if we
Third one in a row, by the way.
I mean, yeah. So at the end of the day, I think if we're good with our resources, we figure out some creative ways using new technology that we'll be able to address those issues.
And one of the things that...
But I'm not a water expert, so...
Well, I was going to say, one of the things that happened about 25 years ago was that for developers to get water rights, they had to buy, if they wanted an acre-foot of water, they had to buy an acre-and-a-half-foot of water that would be taken out of, farming, and put into the water bank. So therefore, as you had growth, you were actually putting water aside. And so you were taking it out of agriculture and putting it into potentially city use at some point in the future. It was a very, very smart thing to do.
It's kind of like wetland banking, right? So if you're going to build on wetlands, you have to buy more wetlands somewhere else so that we're still keeping the same amount of wetlands in the Truckee Meadows in Northern Nevada as we grow and kind of develop.
Okay, so you're involved in so many different things. So I'm going to throw this at you, see if you've got an angle on this, which is, and you mentioned it briefly, there is going to be a huge need to widen I-80 between Reno, Sparks, and the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. With Senator Reid no longer in play in D.C., How do we do that? Because I don't think that we have the resources, because that would be a multi-billion-dollar project.
So you know who you should have on the show to chat about that is Councilman Ed Lawson. I know he is working on a lands bill, a project to really create more connectivity along the, maybe not directly through I-80, but with some new transportation routes along the back end there. So I don't want to give away all of his details because I don't know all of them, but I can tell you he has been working tirelessly to put all the pieces together to potentially address that issue.
I have Mr. Lawson's name now on my list
good.
here. And
you
we
should
will
definitely give
him
him a shout. Yeah.
We're now seeing, the transfer of a business park in Fernie that's been sitting dormant for a long time. It's now, I believe, called the Victory.
I saw that. Yeah.
It's a huge project, and then Roger Norman and Lance Gilman have also put together a package of land.
Yep.
They were the people that brought Tahoe Reno Industrial Center to fruition. Those things are going to be long-term projects. Yeah. I mean, Trick was a 20-year project. Yeah. It was supposed to be a 50-year project, but I mean, it just went crazy.
Kudos to those guys, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But my question to you is, and you and I are both pro-growth.
Yeah, I am very pro-growth.
But do you have concerns that we need infrastructure to catch up to where our growth is, because this growth ain't going to slow down anytime soon.
And that is one thing I think people are like, you see on Facebook, I mean, stop the growth, stop the growth. Well, it's not going to stop. No. Nevada's out of the bag, love it or hate it, right? People are going to start to move here. We have a great community. And I think what we really need to address the infrastructure is conversation and collaboration between all the different entities, right? And we need a long-term plan for that. We are going to have stress on our roads. We are going to, our sewers at capacity, right? I think, and then we also need folks to build that infrastructure. We need folks not only to build those roads and those sewer systems, but also those houses. So I think we have a lot of different things that we have to look at in one package. Reno's at a tipping point, and we could tip in a good direction, but we could tip in a bad direction. I think it's, we tend to bring a lot of consultants here to Reno, and we do a lot of charrettes and a lot of stakeholder engagement, a lot of community outreach meetings. What was that plan IBM did? Smart cities, right? Whatever happened to that? Is sitting on a shelf somewhere, maybe? So I think that what we have a lot of smart people here. I think getting them all in a room and kind of putting egos aside and agendas aside and politics aside and territorial needs aside, that's how we're going to really get this done. Is really coming together and figuring out, what the solutions are with some of the resources that we have here. I don't think hiring another consulting group to tell us is the best idea ever.
As I grew up in the broadcasting industry in Northern Nevada, I can guarantee you that consultants are the worst thing that you could ever have, because they come with ideas that worked very well in other places.
Oh my gosh.
And they're not Reno.
No.
And they're not Reno people.
No. I remember in Fallon, they hired a consultant once to come in and kind of help us grow. And, similar to what Sparks did about 10 years ago. And the consultant told us that we should turn the pass along the river into bike paths. And we're like, well, that's where the ditch rider goes. And it's just, you just have to understand the community. And infrastructure is our biggest challenge right now. We are going to continue growing. How are we going to fix this infrastructure problem? I personally believe that our property tax system is flawed. It doesn't reset upon sale, and it depreciates over a 50-year period, I think. And I was really hoping that I was going to see some action at the legislature last session about, getting a property tax reset put on the ballot. Unfortunately, we didn't see that. I would love to see Democrats and Republicans come together around that. I know that no one wants to raise taxes, but we have a flawed property tax system. We have to pay for infrastructure. That's a way to potentially pay for it. People in Old Southwest should not be paying less on their $2 million homes than a brand new home in Double Diamond pays. So this is the thing. You don't want us to build more homes in Southeast Reno. You don't want Daybreak to happen. Well, it's those homes in Daybreak that are paying the most taxes that provide the infrastructure for Southwest to have their additional services such as leaf blowing. So if it's one thing I have a strong opinion on, it is that. We have to pay for our growth. And our current tax structure with property tax does not pay for that growth. And we have all these not in my backyard people that don't want growth, but they still want everything that's happening. Well, their houses have been depreciating and they're not paying enough property tax. Somebody's got to pay for it. Right now, it's the new residents and the new growth. So we got to buck up, people, and we got to be willing to face this issue, and we got to be willing at the legislature to look at how we can reset property tax.
All right, we will come back to this.
Okay.
We're going to take a breath here and see if I can get you fired up.
Okay.
We'll be right back after this.
Tamarack Junction is South Reno's hotspot with over 450 of the latest slots and video games. Sully's Sports Bar, the Dining Car Restaurant, William Hill Sportsbook, and the Tamarack Steakhouse and Lounge. We're just north of the Summit Mall in South Virginia.
Yeah. Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
The Tamarack Junction Steakhouse is known for signature steaks, handcrafted cocktails, and world-class wines. Join us Thursdays and Friday nights from 4:30 to 6:30 in the Steakhouse Lounge for live music, gourmet plates, and well-priced wines, just north of the Summit Mall on South Virginia.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Abbi Whitaker. She's the co-owner with her husband Ty of the Abbi Agency. You're talking about property taxes.
Yep.
I think that, first of all, if I don't know if you were around at a time when the property tax came in.
Yeah,
but it was
I
a whole
do
California
remember
thing
that,
that came to Nevada.
We had to change it.
And it was just out of control.
Of course.
I think that people are willing to look at tax increases, and I'm talking about the public, not the legislators, when they have a specific target in mind.
Yep.
For example, the RTC taxes.
Fuel tax,
I think that people are comfortable with that because they see that the RTC, both in northern and southern Nevada, are doing a good job with the money that they were given, and that everybody needs good roads, and if we're going to get those, then we're willing to pay that extra 30 cents or whatever it might be on a gallon of gas. And I think the same thing applies in terms of property taxes. If we can do a campaign that says, this is what the money's for, no monkey business, this is where it's going to get directed, it's not going to get moved around.
Like WC1.
Exactly.
Right, I think WC1 passed because we were able to show people that this money wasn't going into the Netherland. Like, I think some people wonder where the marijuana money's all going, right? Is it just going into a general fund? We don't really know. And I think that we have to start educating people now about where these potential property tax dollars could go. And I want to be clear, I'm talking about resetting property tax upon sale. I'm not talking about the, my grandmother, telling her that, hey, it's going to increase $7,000 a year. No, absolutely not, but resetting upon sale. And you're absolutely right. I think we need to form a coalition now. I think we need to get ahead of it, and I think we need to start educating people how, if we raise property tax, how it can benefit them, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's education, whether it's parks and recreation, where that money would go and how that would have a positive impact on their daily life. And then also, it's always good to show in other cities and other states when this has been done or where they have this tax stream, how that has impacted people's lives, like directly in a positive way. So it's all about transparency and education. You're 100% right. I hope you'll join our coalition when we get it going.
I will not join it, but I will have your people come on the program to talk about it.
I love it. Thank you.
Because that's the important part.
It is.
And it seems like there are less and less forums for us to be able to do that where we have large audiences. The media pie has gotten larger, but the slices have become smaller.
And it's like, I think I'm really shying away from getting in these battles on social media with folks, because I feel like that is where you just have people that are misinformed a lot of the time, that are just throwing bombs at you without really using facts. That's why I do love to come on here and have a conversation with you, because you're well versed in the facts. We can disagree, we can agree to disagree, we can agree, right? But as adults that care about our community and are deeply passionate about the fact that we are at that tipping point, we're not going to stop growing. And we have to take care of Nevadans. So people from California, love it that they're coming here. I have lots of clients from California. That's fine. But they can sell their houses for $1 or $2 million and come here and pay cash for things. I want my employees, our UNR grads, my kids, my friends' kids, I want them to be able to know that they have a future here and that they have a chance to be able to afford a home and afford to live here.
Okay, but don't we need to teach our kids what the reality is of our lives so that they can see what the expectations should be? And I was thinking about this when thinking about coming to talk with you today, was when I came to the United States. I lived with friends for the first 8 months or so. Then I lived in a bug-infested apartment that was one room with a bathroom that was big enough to swing a cat if you had a very small turning circle, and then shared a house with 3 people that we didn't own. And it was a continuation of a poverty lifestyle until things clicked. And when it came time to buy a house in my late 30s, I worked 2 years, 3 jobs to save up the down payment. There is this expectation that everything's going to happen overnight. It ain't.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
And income equality, I get what people are upset about, but it's always been income equality.
No, I mean, that's a great point. And I think that I worked at Applebee's until I was 30 years old. I have a lot of employees that only work at the Abbi agency, and I try to make it so that they have a great salary, and that's the only place I have to work. But when they come to me and they're like, well, I want to buy this, buy that, I'm like, well, let me tell you what I did. I worked in Sparks at Applebee's until I was 30. Every Wednesday and Sunday night, I worked in Tahoe, worked there all day, drove back here, worked at Applebee's, and on the weekends I would deliver phone books during the day so that I could get ahead and own my business. So I don't want that work ethic to go away. I worry about that with my kids, who have a hell of a lot more than I ever had, right? I'm like, hey kids, Whole Foods isn't where, that's not the be all and the end all of existence. My daughter raised a pig this year for 4-H. She had to go and she had to get the pig, she had to feed the pig, do everything. And then at the end of the day, she was able to sell her pig. She sold it to Mark Esty, and her check was for $1,400. By the time I took away all the money that I'd put up front for her to get that pig going, she had $200. And she was like, what? I don't have $1,400? And I'm like, girl, this is your first lesson in life. It costs money to make money. Everything isn't free. You're going to have to muck some poop out of a stall, theoretically, right? As well as in reality. And that's how you're going to get ahead. And you know what? She's like, all right, Mom. So next year, if I raise that pig, I'm going to make a little bit more money. I'm like, yes, you are. So, I'm trying to teach them that nothing's free. Hard work is what matters. Meat doesn't just end up on Whole Foods on accident. It's a big lesson to raise a pig.
Let's take a very quick break. All right, we'll be right back.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. At Design Outdoor, we specialize in all hardscapes, pavers, and walls you'll need for everything, from wonderful small yards to full-blown outdoor living. And we only refer the best contractors to make your vision a reality. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
I'm men's rights attorney Marilyn York. And because I represent men in all family law matters, women often call me gender traitor, woman hater, and even disgusting. So why represent men and target myself with these offensive monikers? It's simple. Children with fathers in their lives are 6 times less likely to drop out of school, 15 times less likely to go to prison, and 5 times less likely to commit suicide. So ladies, you can hate me, but please love your children more than you hate their fathers.
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, Give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation. We got a minute left with
Okay.
Abbi Whitaker. This boom, I've been saying for a while that it's at least 20-year boom, and a lot of casino owners are agreeing with me. I think with the advent of these 2 new business parks, it's even further.
Yeah, I think that Nevada is on the upswing. I think even if we have a small speed bump in the road for a recession, that we're going to be a lot more insulated than we were last time. I think that Governor Sandoval, God bless him, and the great state of Nevada did an excellent job diversifying our economy. And I really hope that we can continue to embrace growth, embrace economic development, and understand what it takes in order to continue to make Nevada the great state that it's becoming and that it is.
Abbi Whitaker, always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you, lovely.
Thank you. Come back soon.
All right, bye.
And we'll be right back. A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hi, my name's Marilyn Miner, and I'm sure you'd agree that Nevada's a very special place to live. I was born here, and my husband and I have raised our family here. I feel it's a privilege to live and work in the Truckee Meadows. I especially enjoy helping my clients reach their real estate goals. Sometimes the smallest details provide the greatest satisfaction. I'd be complimented to talk to you about your next move.
Call Marilyn Miner at Dixon Realty, 742-1280, or log on to marilynminer.com.
St. Ives Florist, for every holiday and every special occasion. For romance. Custom home design. We have the largest selection of fresh flowers in northern Nevada. And we also offer a large selection of unique gift items. Come see me, Lori Ann, at St. Ives Florist, 700 South Wells Avenue, or call me at 333-9190.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com. You can also download podcasts of the show free of charge at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Everywhere is Nevada Newsmakers. We'll see you on the next broadcast.